Hello and welcome to the video. My name is Aaron and I run a small business called Big Brain Productions Co. where I make shirts, tote bags, and also stickers. But today in this video, the main thing that we're gonna go over is how to make and sell shirts from the comfort of your own home. And if you're interested in that, keep watching this video. And without further ado, let's get straight into it. All right, so the first step you're going to need to starting a clothing brand at home is finding a niche. A niche is extremely important because you are going to want people to know what your brand is. You're going to need to stand out. A niche is targeting a specific group of people or a specific style. Some examples that I could give you are streetwear, workwear, eco-friendly, and specific clothing for people with disabilities, so people who are very sensitive. Those are some of the niches that you could choose from. There's a whole lot more. Anime merchandise, horror movies, Disney movies. You just need to pick your niche and you need to know who you are targeting. All right, so for the second step, after you have found your niche, you're gonna need to come up with a brand name. Now think about this really hard because this is going to be the name that represents your brand. People are gonna look at your brand and be like, hey, that's Nike. Yeah, I love Nike. Nike is very prominent. You know, they have the Just Do It. They have the little swoosh logo. It's very simple. We're gonna get to logo designing after this. But first, we're gonna focus on a name. Make sure it's something that you know you want, something that represents your brand and makes sense, and also make sure it's something that you're not going to regret later on down the journey. You could always go on, Google, social media, YouTube, and just search up everywhere for that name. See if anybody has established it. See if anybody has it. There's a couple of websites that I will leave in the description as well, but I'm not going to go over that too much. So just make sure you have a name that is going to represent you and you will never regret it. All right, so the third step of this process is designing. Designing is probably one of the easiest, but also the hardest parts. Now, the reason why I say easy is because you know what you want. After you pick your niche, you're gonna go based off of that niche and make it something that matches that niche. The hard part is actually designing it yourself. There's a lot of softwares out there that you can use like Photoshop, Illustrator, Adobe Express, Ibis Paint, which are the drawing apps, Procreate, I think it's called Pocket now, but there's all of those things on there. I'll list all of these down there. And if you don't know how to design at all, there's a lot of videos on YouTube. So go ahead and go watch yourself some videos on YouTube on how to come up with design ideas. I'll leave some of those videos in the description of people that I personally like to watch. And if you don't want to design at all, then you have people that you can hire. One of the apps that I recommend to go hire people for designing is Fiverr. Fiverr has some really good designers on there and they also have some really good prices. But you need to at least provide the person that you're commissioning a sketch or a general idea on what you want. Tell them what you want it to be based off. Streetwear, I want it to be beach themed, I want it to be about horror. You need to tell them all the details because you're gonna need to work with the person who's making your design. It is one of the most important things to always work with them, communicate, and tell them exactly what you want so there's no confusion. Now we're finally getting to the fun part. Here is where I'm going to explain to you how to make your shirts from home. Now mind you, you are going to need a few things to start this off. You're going to need yourself a heat press and a cutting machine. Now I'm going to tell you a few things that you can do with that heat press and this cutting machine. You can use HTV, which is heat transfer vinyl, or DTF, which is direct to film. Let me talk about HTV first. So for the HTV, you are going to use your cutting machine to cut out your design. But if you have something really detailed, it's just not going to work out. HTV is mainly used for layering simple designs such as like a red heart and black outline. So something very simple. Now, while you can do intricate designs, it just can't be gradients. That is not possible. You cannot do that. You can only do simple layered designs. You can do some type of complexity with your designs, which I will put some examples on the screen here, but they're not going to be anything too crazy. All right, so moving on to the DTF, which stands for direct to film. DTF is very cost effective, I feel. It's very cheap. You don't have to pay a lot of money to make one transfer. Unless you want to make more, they have gang sheets, which is a roll of your designs. DTF is then printing directly on this sheet of paper that you are going to just plop onto your shirt, heat press it, and there you have it. You transfer it. No hassle. You don't have to do no peeling. You don't have to peel material off. You don't have to layer everything like you do with vinyl. It's just they print it, give them your design, you take it home, plop it on your shirt, and there you have it. All right, now for this next one, you can also start at home, but I don't know much about it, so I am going to read a description that I found online. Screen printing, also known as silk screening, is a technique where ink is pushed through a mesh screen onto a surface using a stencil. Each color in a design requires its own screen, allowing for the creation of intricate multicolored designs by layering different colors precisely. This method is popular for producing vibrant, durable prints on items like t-shirts, posters, and signs. I forgot to mention that, but this is a very industry standard. A lot of the shirts that you see out there are either vinyl or screen printing, but there is a lot of screen printing out there. Screen printing is very durable, it lasts long, it looks nice, and you can do a lot of designs. Like I said, multicolored, you want a gradient, you want textures on it, you could do that. Now this next one that I'm going to talk about is print on demand. Print on demand is using a company that makes and ships everything for you. Now some print on demand websites that you can use would be Printify, Printful, and Tapstitch. Now what I mean by handle everything for you, they literally handle everything for you. But you are going to have to pay for the shipping costs and for the production costs. That's the only thing that you have to do. When you make your designs and put it on your website, your customer buys it and it ships straight to them. They handle everything for you, but you will have to pay for the shipping costs and for the production costs. And now for the last one that I'm going to talk about, it is actually finding yourself a manufacturer. Now finding a manufacturer is, I want to say, probably more on the expensive side, because they are literally making your garment from raw material. They're sewing it, they're making it oversized if you want it oversized, they're making it fitted, they're sewing everything, they're using an embroidery machine, if you want that. It's all custom. You get to pick out the material, you get to pick out what they want to do. Screen printing, you want vinyl, if you want embroidery, you get to pick out everything. You pick out the material, you pick out what they use for it, you tell them what you want. You're gonna need to really work with your manufacturer if you wanna use them to make your clothes. All right guys, moving on to the last step of this video, and that is marketing and making your website. Now me personally, I think that marketing is way more important than making your website. You should market before you even jump into that, because a lot of people fail just by making a website. You're spending money to pay for that website to sell your stuff on, and you don't have any customers. Now, how do you expect to sell something when you don't have any customers? You don't have any followers, you're not even promoting yourself, you're not telling people what your brand is about, you're not bringing people towards your brand, you're not gonna sell anything. So always make sure to market, make sure to post content. It doesn't even have to be daily, it could be weekly, monthly. If you have stuff going on, it's fine. Well, consistency is very important. Let's say weekly or daily. You don't have to push yourself to make content daily, because you're just gonna burn yourself out. Just do it whenever you can and promote yourself. Make sure it aligns with your brand, and it's not just some random thing. Like, just don't start babbling. You need to make sure it's about your brand. You need to tell people what your brand is about, and you're gonna get those people who are interested and actually want to buy from you. Another thing is don't expect to just become a millionaire, a 7-figure brand. Don't expect that you're just gonna get rich off of one video when you post content. You could get 1 million views on one video, and a good amount of people might buy, but you also might get like 5 to 10 people that buy. Then again though, maybe a little bit more than that. But just don't expect that you're gonna get rich off of one video. Don't tell yourself one video is all it takes. Stay consistent. Moving on to making your website. Now making your website is important as well, and that's if you want to sell to people out, because you can sell to people without a website, right? But that's just going to be going to a vendor fair or something. That works too. If you want to start off like that, go find a vendor. You can do ArtHop. There's some schools and colleges who do vendor fairs, and you can sell your things there. But if you do want to start outsourcing and you want to start selling to other people, you want to start selling to other countries and just out of your area, make a website. You're gonna set it up, put your name, make sure everything looks good, make sure everything works. You could even have somebody order it for you, make sure everything works, make sure everything is running smoothly. You could use Shopify, Etsy. Etsy is a good starter, but they mostly do like stickers and print on demand. So if you're looking for stickers and print on demand and you just want to make things, go ahead and go on Etsy. But Shopify Big Cartel. Those are both good websites to go on to sell your clothing. And again, when you make your website, go ahead and promote it. Go promote yourself. Like, hey everybody, I just dropped my website right now. If y'all are interested, it's up on the site right now. Go buy it. You could also do pre-orders too. You could have people put in pre-orders. Once it drops, the order goes straight through. Do take your time. Don't just jump into a website just because there's hype around it. Do something that you know is gonna be good for you. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I have to say for now. I hope this helped you guys just even a little bit. If it didn't, I'm sorry. But if this did, thank you. Drop a comment, leave a like, and thank you so much. You guys have a great rest of your day.